We broke down a lot of rookies so far here, but we haven't broke down the number 1 overall pick. That was Cam Ward, the quarterback from Miami, now with the Tennessee Titans, hoping to be the savior of the Titans franchise. And Dalton, he was the best quarterback in college football.
You know, honestly, why I think we hadn't gotten to it yet is because there was just so many things to pick from, right? He had an almost perfect season at Miami last year outside of making the playoffs, and that certainly wasn't his fault. But you look at just all of the things he did well. Look, and I think the first part about Cam Ward is they didn't have some complex run game. There wasn't a ton of play action and screens and all that. He just dropped back and threw the football and threw it better than anybody in the country. Look at this. Without play action, best passing grade in the country. On his first read, knowing where he's going pre-snap, best in the country. 2.5 seconds or less, second best in the country. Downfield, 10-plus yards, best in the country. Versus zone coverage, and we're going to get into this in a second, best passer in the country last year. But the two that I really want to put together real quick are this one and this one. Because the combination, when you think about 2.5 seconds left, you think about the quick game, you think about, okay, yeah, the quick game. 5 yards, 7 yards, hitches, quick reads to get the ball out on the perimeter. This guy attacks down the field and quickly, okay? So let's put those two things together because, you know, in our database, I can put things together like that, okay? So passing grade, 88.7, but I want to say something about this 37th ranking here because a lot of the guys higher than him in this passing grade are really taking the ball in 2 seconds and chucking all those go balls downfield. Remember I talked about best zone coverage thrower in the country? He really more so gets into maybe less of those big-time throws in those moments and really gets into those intermediate windows to beat that zone coverage. So I'm not worried about the ranking here so much as the grade is spectacular. But here, 5th in yards per attempt, okay? 2nd in touchdowns, 14th in passer rating, 130 is pretty good, 2.12 time to throw. Again, striking downfield quickly. He was also, I believe, the first or second best intermediate passer in the country. So when you're talking about, it's not just this, we have so many college quarterbacks. We watch it every week, Max said, just chucking up go balls all the time. That's not Cam Ward. That's why this is a little bit lower because some other guys maybe have more big-time throws in this scenario because they're chucking all those 9 routes downfield. He's working all the windows of the field in every part of a defense. Here's what I'm getting at first. Actually, before that, I want to show you something. These same stat, 10-plus yard throws, 2.5 seconds or less. These were the highest passing grades in football last year. Now, Russell Wilson, that's the one, that's not the blueprint I want necessarily because he was completing a whole bunch of go balls with Pittsburgh, right? George Pickens throwing that moon ball. This is the one. That's the one right there you talk about. When you talk about Joe Burrow, that's not just chucking up go balls. That's reading zone defenses. Mayfield, great. Jaden Daniels, if you had faith that a rookie, if you didn't have faith that a rookie could do it, you have Jaden Daniels, just point to Washington. Geno Smith, also a great vertical passer. So these are the types of names you're talking about. And this is the top 5. All the other elite guys you think about, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they're not far behind. They're also in the top 10 to 12 of this stat. So if you can get quickly down the field with the football, you're going to have a lot of success. Here we go. Oh, there you go. There's your Syracuse Orange. You remember this one.
We won this game, by the way.
You did win this game. Yeah. Kyle McCord, full circle.
It was a shootout, yeah.
It was absolutely a shootout because Cam Ward is still unstoppable. We're going to talk first about that zone coverage idea over the middle of the field. Okay, we're going to get something called Bo here. Xavier Restrepo, also a Tennessee Titan, have to love it. He's going to get in on this in cut right here. You're going to get another receiver here on this little hitch. Now, we're going to see, you're already seeing the safety come down. Cam Ward's going to look at this safety first. This free safety is going to get back. They're going to rotate into cover 3. They're in a too high look. We're in a cover 3. These linebackers are just going to sit. So all Ward is going to do, he's going to take one peek at this safety just to confirm that that's the coverage that we think it is. That I'm pretty sure with this rotation, this is cover 3. And the next thing that's going to happen, you can see it here because I've got a short one here, got an intermediate one here. We're going to read this linebacker right here. He's going to have to make a decision. This is how you beat zone coverage. You make people make decisions. And you know what? If you're the guy holding the football, you should always be right. Let's see it develop here. Okay, we're in his drop. The first place he looks is this safety. There he is, right? Now I know what the coverage is. We got people flying out here too. You see the windows start to open because he looks off to his left. I think one of Cam Ward's superpowers, okay, and he's got many of them, is understanding and anticipating windows before they happen, right? Restrepo's not all the way into his route yet. We're just getting here with this curl, right? This linebacker, we're not sure, but it's that look off that opens the space for him. He trusts the space is going to be there, and that Restrepo, of course, because Restrepo's Mr. Reliable, that he's going to get in behind that linebacker in that window and just fire it right between these linebackers. You get to it. Now it starts to develop. Right as he releases the football. And look, Restrepo Hasn't quite cleared yet, right? But we see the linebacker leaning down in towards this curl. You see Ward releasing the football, trusting what he sees, holding the linebackers, creating this space with his eyes, getting the ball right in here for a first down, right? So it's not necessarily, that's not one we have as a big-time throw, but it's a positively graded throw, and it's one that, again, 10 to 12 yards downfield, under 2.5 seconds. That's how quickly these things happen. This one's, now we're going to start getting into freaky stuff here, okay? That we're going to get into a couple plays here where I'm not even sure how we saw it, but what's going to happen here? USF, this is against USF, right? They're going to run this complicated, rotated cover 2 thing where this defensive end is going to drop off. This one's going to drop into the Tampa. This one's going to be out here. It's like a whole thing. We got blitzes. We got all sorts of wild happening, right? But somehow Cam Ward sees that it's cover 2. That's the whole thing. No matter what's going on up here, it's cover 2. This corner is going to sit in the flat here. This corner is going to sit in the flat down here. And we're going to look at just the top of this screen. Because honestly, it's not complicated stuff from Miami's offense here. They're just going to get vertical up top. Okay, we're going to get here. We're going to get in here. And this next slide is unreal to me because I got a vertical route up top. He's only 4 yards down the field. He's got this corner kind of sitting on him, squatting into cover 2 flat. We've got a safety getting over the top. And yet, Ward has already released this football. What is it? You don't usually throw these vertical routes until about anywhere from 8 to 12 yards. We're actually right at 8 right here, and he was even working and starting to wind up this football when he was at 4 or 5. And he's going to jam this into the hole up here that's the cover 2 hole on the sideline before anybody breaks out, before it's not even he's leaving. The corner's still ahead of him, right? And yet the football is already gone. He hasn't looked anywhere else. He looked at his first read here up top and just said, you know what? I got it. Yeah. I know it somehow with all this rotation, all this nonsense happening up front. He knew that he had it before it even happened, before the snap even happened. And look at this throw. This is ridiculous. And to release this in almost 2 seconds flat, and when the receiver was not ahead of the corner yet, and to throw this ball into that perfect spot right there with that level. Usually, most quarterbacks are waiting to see the guy clear the corner. Most of them. Not Cam Ward. Again, one of the superpowers, seeing windows before they happen. This is even more ridiculous. All right, this just makes almost no sense to me, okay? Restrepo coming in motion. He's going to get out here. Okay, I'm not worried about him. We're going to get a slant in here from the outside receiver, and Elijah Arroyo, second-round pick, Seattle Seahawks, he's just going to run right up the seam right here. So it's a little bit funky. We're going to get a traffic jam. But, I think at first maybe he was looking to Restrepo, because he always is. I would too. But I think what you have is just a lot of confusion from the defense with the mixing and matching. But, Max, tell me, look at this. Football's already being released. It's gone. It's out of his hand. Where is he throwing this?
I have no idea.
What is this? Where is he throwing this? Where we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. It's kind of this cover 4 thing where you've got 1, 2, 3. You've got cover 4 going back, and this guy's man-to-man on Restrepo.
None of his receivers are even looking back to him right now.
Nobody's even the slant maybe is kind of looking at him through Elijah Arroyo, who's not. That's a wall you're looking through there. But where is he throwing this football? And even the defense. Look at this safety. He's in a deep quarter, but he has no idea what's happening right now. I can tell you right now. Somehow, some way, Cam Ward knew that if he throws this seam to Elijah Arroyo at that very moment, that he's going to fit it in right here. The safety was breaking on the slant, thinking he was throwing the slant. These two have no idea what's happening. Watching this, you get to this point in the play, I have no idea where he's throwing this football. I don't even know how he sees this or how he knows. When Arroyo caught this ball, he had absolutely, it surprised him. He didn't even know. The ball just hit him. He didn't even catch it. It just hit him in his chest. But this is the type of anticipation. The previous play against USF, touchdown because of anticipation. Arroyo houses this 70 yards now for a touchdown because Ward throws this in a spot where nobody has any idea where he's throwing it except him. That's a special level of anticipation that you just can't teach. I think that's one superpower. The other one's the improv that we're going to talk about here in a second. But this, when you talk about reading zone coverage, anticipating where everyone on the field is going to be, and then honestly, just having the set on you to make that throw and then just stand there casually like oh, I just do that every day, because he probably does. That's a ridiculous level of an ability to read zone coverage and just fire it into a space without waiting on your receivers to see it.
And usually, reading defenses, reading zone coverages like that is the one thing that rookie quarterbacks always struggle with initially out of the gate. I mean, we've seen, of course, NFL defenses are a whole different ballgame, but we've seen Cam Ward already. The processing ability is always there. Rookie quarterbacks quarterbacks always come in with enough arm talent. Cam Ward has the arm talent, but also the processing ability to get through this.
And these were not basic looks. That cover 2 rotation on the previous play, that's like Brian Flores, Steve Spagnuolo type stuff. This is cover 4, but it was weird with the motion because this guy had man on Restrepo, so the motion could have fooled you too, and you could have thrown this into a real bad window when you talk about the rest of the defense. So he's certainly, and there's been talks lately of Brian Callahan having to stop him from watching so much film because that's all he does. I can see why, because this is just a ridiculous level of anticipation. But should we talk for a second about the second superpower? The thing that really separated him, right? All right, here we go against Louisville, right? Now, you talk about Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, the guys who can improvise. Cam Ward can improvise, all right? So all we're going to get here, this is, I think it's 2nd and 17 or some long something like that. We're just getting vertical all over the place here to try to let him. It's what he does, right? He just throws the ball down the field whenever he feels like it. We're just kind of getting a sort of 5 verts thing going, if I remember this right. It doesn't even matter because the play's going to be broken anyway. This is going to be a drop 8, okay? We're going to get 1, 2, this guy's going to drop right in here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 guys in coverage. Cam Ward, 3-man rush. You're not getting Cam Ward with a 3-man rush, I can tell you that right now. Here we go. Now, Max, I want to tell you something. This is 4 seconds into this play. It's a long time. And Cam Ward is still just standing there in the pocket, patient as can be. You know, a lot of those improvisers, even Mahomes back at Texas Tech, get a little impatient. They want to make something happen. Cam Ward's casually standing there 4 seconds into this play, right? Nobody's open. We can see it. Okay, maybe you could check it down here. That'd be an option. Cool, but is that fun? That's not fun. Come on now. We're trying to get vertical. We're trying to do something. What you're going to see, nobody's open. This is 4 seconds in. Great coverage. Louisville's doing a great job covering this. Of course, I think, is it this Restrepo? One of them, Xavier Restrepo, is going to sneak right back in here towards the back of the end zone. And all Ward is going to do, of course, sneak out to his left, got the chemistry going, right? Unbelievable that he even sees. Actually, I'm sorry, it's right back here. Right back here, we got a guy sneaking behind. After 4 seconds, rolls to his left. We got to remember, this might look like it's down in the red zone. We're getting from the 31 all the way to the back corner here. That's a 40-yard throw rolling to his left on the move, right? Now we're 7 or 8 seconds deep into a play. So when you talk about a constant threat, especially if you only send a 3-man rush, you have a problem. And he drops an absolute dime rolling to his left in, again, a shootout of a game. This was early in the game. But, it's just the level of improvisation that you don't see real often. And honestly, Max, it took me a while to go back and watch the film of this play, even though this was the play everyone showed on ESPN all the time. I never had watched the film on it because you know who had the best seat in the house to see it in person? Oh, look at these 2 guys right here.
There's me and you.
There's you and me watching from the 4-yard line. I'm not even sure if we're supposed to be standing there, but we had a front row seat to it, and I turned to you after this and went, oh, okay, this kid is special. You make a throw like that rolling to your left, you have a real problem. So I'm telling you right now, we got to see it from this close up. We get to go back on the tape and watch it all the time. Cam Ward and the improvisation, that's a special thing to watch.
I remember at that game, after that throw, you turned to me and said, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's those kind of oh my God moments right there that make Cam Ward the #1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft to the Tennessee Titans.